Dr. Sujata Pandey is a mental health expert, especially for women and children. She is currently working with the Government of Chattisgarh on their National Health Mission as a district program consultant. She holds a master's degree in public health. With this podcast, we tried and dig deep down on the journey of a health warrior during the extreme time of COVID. What kept her going throughout all this? What made her choose to be the part of the 4 a.m. club in the morning? Her take on time and food management, her inclination towards spirituality and the never-ending desire of imbibing the holy Bhagavad Gita, her 3M science deeply inspired from this life-running book, and the prevailing stigma of socially not opening about mental health in India. The session with Dr. Sujata made a deep impact on me. Her wise set of knowledge and a deep psychological view of all these contexts made the first episode of this podcast a really intellectual one. I hope you'll enjoy the first episode of a new podcast called Seek Your Purpose. Hello Dr. Sujata and welcome to Seek Your Purpose. I'm really obliged to you that आपने वक्त निकाला for us. Thank you, be a part of this show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So I've just heard you got vaccinated with this COVID-19 vaccine. So first of all, congratulations for that. And how does it really feel to get vaccinated, like in between just like 3 or 4 days of it was being launched?
Feeling a little special, and most of, I should say, most deserving we are actually. We are the frontline warrior, COVID warrior, I should say.
Great. We just having a word yesterday and we discussed on this thing that instead of giving it initially to the politicians first, or maybe the top actors and actresses, or maybe the celebrities in the world, they have given a chance to all the frontline workers. So does that really feel privileged for this government that, they are obliging your work for all the frontline workers?
Yeah, in a way it is like that, what you're saying, but if we see that the relevance of getting vaccinated, it is only us, the health professionals, the policemen, and those who are working in front line day and night. I'm not saying that politicians are not, but still, we are the one who were in the front line during that period, and still we are, beating this COVID pandemic. So, yeah, it is much deserving, I should say.
Right. So my first question to you will be, when the entire India was under lockdown during March, April, May, June, and even July, people were asked to be into their home, be quarantined, being home quarantined, keeping them isolated. And I would say it was the frontline warriors, just like you, medical practitioners, sanitation workers, policemen, traffic policemen, who were all and out there just making sure that they give their best to the society. And while the rest of the people were totally into their house, you were out there facing the frontline situation actually. So what was your experience overall? Can you just give a brief insight on that? How your days went through?
What should I say? It was a very mixed experience, I should say. It was exciting, it was challenging, it was demanding a lot. We were not knowing what is coming next. Daily SOPs were coming, daily guidelines, and daily evening briefing by WHO bulletin. It is the first pandemic declared by WHO. So international emergency were there. We used to read in our textbooks during our college days about international emergencies and pandemic, but it was a live experience for us. And back then we heard about Spanish flu actually in 19th century. It lasted around that, right? Yeah. So in that period also, that was another period. We were not witness that. We were just reading about that. So chance, I should say, to experience those pandemic, and because we were the only person who can have that, stake, serve in a way. So overall experience was learning and challenging, yet we had a lot of fun also, I should say.
So what kept you going throughout all these things, all these last 4, 5, 6 months? You guys have been there on the front line helping people out there, and while we are just sitting and watching Republic TV in front of us and just getting all those panic ki yaar actually mein ho kya raha hai wahan pe. So what was all like that? What kept you going throughout all these things?
It was when you have nothing to lose or nothing to do, so you just have that one thing to do, and that was the thing for us. Be it health professionals or those policemen and other professionals of revenue and other part, we had that responsibilities on us कि हमको बस ये करना है, so we don't have anything. We were not getting Sundays and any holidays in between, so it was day and night. We were just working through our days. It went in a flow. I should say there was a pressure, and yes, we were knowing that things are getting worse and things will be going to worse at that period. So that was the thing. तो हाथ में जो चीज है, we were just doing that at a particular time. Beside, uh, like I said, when you have nothing to do much, so you just focus on what is important, right? So in that way, and along with doing that thing in a scheduled way, that made us actually kept going.
My God. And when we heard of the news, like people of Tablighi Jamaat or people or Sardars from the Nanded Sahib, they're returning, and all those kind of news that they're spreading throughout, and they were called of sort of anxiety among people. People are spreading, and might be the cases will increase. I guess you were in the contact tracing side.
Initially, yeah. Right. Initially, I was doing that.
So can you recall any incident that actually made you feel, what I haven't been part of? This is something quite scary, actually.
Not actually scary, but yeah, like you said, I feel like I'm getting a little philosophical view on that. But there are times and there are things in our life when people will do what they can do, maybe worst thing at that particular time, and there are people will do at their best thing in those worst time. So it is like that. It is perspective of a person. So what they have, they will throw to the world, right? So whatever you spoke about those persons, so they will try to make us, or they will try to make things difficult, but they cannot, because ultimately the thing will like it's always going through the way it says now. So it is like that. I don't want to, discuss much about it, because it is always the best thing we should take and to, get inspired. We should seek our purpose, like you're
What actually kept you going throughout all these things? That force that you were actually hitting you hard from behind. You know what, Sujata? Just go and get it done. Just go and seek every other day. Just go and do it.
I just had that kid. I think this is my purpose. Serving the community is the only purpose, like a public health professional, what I've felt so far. And that was the period when I can get best out of me at that particular period, and even now also. So scheduling your day, getting into things and doing it better way, not best but better way, just better version of yesterday. That made me, and there are lot other things. I told you कि public doing a public health professional, and especially in coming from the mental health professionals. So it was my duty and my passion to promote mental health hygiene and mental health in the community, overall health in the community, along with trying to decrease incidence of diseases, I should say. So that was the whole thing. And if you are into mental health, so you are a bit mental also. So you do things in a insane way. So that comes like actually inspiring for me as well, along with the community.
My God, that's the best confession that I ever got from a mental health expert, that if you're into this field, then you're sort of mental also.
Honestly.
So just tell me how your day went through, like, and especially let me just tell to my listeners, Sujata wakes up at 4 a.m. in the morning. My God, I'm really inspired from that. And just brief about what actually happens when you wake up at 4 a.m. and how does things actually turn out to be.
It is famous saying, no, ki early to bed and early to rise. During our school days, we are keep hearing about this, makes person healthy, wealthy, and wise. It is the truth actually. So when you are waking up early, so you have more, time for yourself, actually. First thing. Second thing, we always, complain about we don't have time. And when you are waking up 4, so you have, almost 3 to 4 hours extra. We don't have, everyone have that 24 hour in their life. Most of the time we waste actually in sleeping. And especially when it comes to 4 a.m. thing, it comes from a famous book. It's just that I practiced that. And when I woke up at 4, and even like the digital clock outside, we have a body clock inside our own body. So this is the period, even our scriptures say the Brahm Muhurat is the period when we're talking about 3 a.m. actually 2:30 to 6 a.m. It is a sort of Brahm Muhurat, and this is the period where your mind is in its coolest and calmest phase, and the world is at sleep, or sort of silence is there, and there are many things are happening at that particular time, and it's the best time to meditate, and best time to think, best time to imagine, best time to study and whatnot, exercise and whatever you want to do with your life. And usually if we what we have done, the whole food pyramid or the body cycle, we have actually made it upside down. We all are having, most of us having the biggest meal in the dinner because we have time in night only. We are rushing through our days in the morning because we are not waking up at time. So that is one thing. Another thing, we are waking up at night. We are not sleeping beyond 12. We are sleeping at 12 or after 12, 1 or 2. I guess most of the population is because of this developing phase. We are we are actually making our life like this. So this is actually, we are not investing but wasting our time in waking up at night, and not getting up, we are wasting it. So now I am sort of investing my time to get up early so that I can do most of my things in the morning, while you are, waking up or getting up at 6 or 7. So my half of work is almost done. So I'm already far away from your rat race in a way.
My God, my God. I would just like to tell the listeners that the book that she's talking about, it's the 5 a.m. Club by a very famous person called Robin Sharma. And I read this book somewhere around a year back. I tried to wake up at 5 a.m. It continued for somewhere around like a month or maybe 2 months. But then even after that, I would say the thing that you were just talking about, it's actually sort of disbalance between the work and the life that people are unable to actually clarify, and they are unable to actually differentiate what's important from them. It's somehow, I guess, would be some sort of disbalance, some sort of thing.
Yeah, it is sort of disbalance only, or another term will come, the management time. We are a bad manager of our life actually. It comes to manage your thing. We are excellent at our work. Okay, we are earning well. We are doing things. We are going beyond our capacities, and we are like doing out of deadline. We are doing a lot of things. But when it comes to our own body, or mind, or soul, it is by WHO definition of health says that is a complete state of physical, mental, social, and spiritual well being, and not merely the absence of disease. So, in that way, we are not talking about if I don't have any disease, that doesn't mean I'm a healthy person, if at all, if I am not
Right.
socially healthy, if I'm not spiritually healthy. So, the WHO itself is saying that we need to, look all the dimension of health. We are merely, getting into gym and doing workout, and we are actually, I'm not against gym or other thing, but when it comes to health, we all are actually stick with the physical health, not the mental one, not the spiritual one, and forget about social one. All parameters are important, and the thing which you are talking about is actually the thing we are not focusing on these areas. We have that energy. We are actually doing these things, but not in a constructive way. We are sort of going into the flow. which we are providing through the social media or the Republic TV, like you said, the other media. People are just serving us and we are just receiving those things, but we are not actually choosing what is best for us, what is best for my mind, what kind of information I should get, and what reflects out of it. So it is all about that.
That's really clear. And taking a note from that, what actually led to the build of this community of this podcast, especially for me, you know what, that 2020 actually made me realize, you need to have a physical, you need to have a mental, and you need to have a financial fitness if you really wanted to survive the extremities of this world. So when it's about physical fitness, much more focus on the nutrition side rather than being on the working out side. Because anyhow, by the end of the you're at least walking, and walking itself is a workout kind of thing. The other thing, when it's about mental health, yes, your power of your own thoughts, whatever comes to your mind, it's because of all these practices that you do. Maybe spirituality, meditation, yoga, and all those kind of things. Maybe reading a good book is also a good habit. That helps. And definitely to support all these things, you need to have a dosage of that personal finance management. So taking a point from that point on, I just just clicked in my mind. You know what? This is something that we should drive. Actually, the younger generation, we should drive towards attaining a knowledge on all these kind of things. I heard about your 3M science that we just discussed a day before. So what exactly is that 3M? I'm really curious to let my listeners know Sujata's 3M point of view.
It is not mine, but it comes from a very famous religious book of that is Bhagavad Gita. 3 M's are meditation, mindfulness, and manifestation. Like I said, that I am into mental health, and along with mental health, there is one my expertise. I work with stress management. There is a sessions of stress management which I gave to these groups of our community. So in that, we are actually talking about day-to-day stress. So in a philosophical way and spiritual way, meditation is the most important thing. Like you also mentioned that we need to, have sort of balance in our life. Meditation gives you that balance, and how it does. It is like we are talking about stress. So first of all, stress is just initial or any kind of response from our body for demanding challenge, whatever it is. Maybe like for a little child, maybe urge to do urination. That is a stress. It generates stress in his mind. For us, also urging to have water. It's a physical form, very simpler example of stress. Likewise, when we have this pandemic itself is a big stressor for every one of us. Get rid of this thing and combat with this thing and come out healthy and a lot of other things. These are the things which makes our body respond for that thing. In that way, we are not equipped for that, so it will cause some sort of physiological changes. Like there's a very famous classical example of stress. A lion is behind you, so what will be your initial response? You will not think about your future or survival. Your survival is the only question. You will not think about your future, right? So that time you will sweat, you will have palpitation, your heart will go like anything, your respiration and will go like anything, and you will fly from that place. All right. So the pseudo lion is everywhere in our life nowadays. There is no lion actually, but all the time we are getting some sort of threat in our mind, and that is actually happening. We need to address that thing, and that is a period where our only that survival instincts are working. We are not thinking about our future. So when we are meditating, during meditation, you will have your all area, the brain area. It is actually documented. I should quote that study by the Stanford University. That, like I said, when lion threat is there, your only survival area will. When it is not there, any threat is not there, so only you dwell in your past or in your future. That is your left portion of the brain most of the time, which is in autopilot mode. Things will revolve from a decade back thing or worries about future and anything which is in autopilot mode. Another one is the right side, which is the creative one, which is all the time yelling that do this thing, Sujata, let's do this thing, Mayank, come on, do some good thing in your life, but we are not listening. because this is in autopilot mode. So what meditation do is the simplest example I can give. Meditation actually bring balance between left and right one. So and it is recorded in Stanford University during one meditator, a monk's brain was mapped during that period. So it was recorded that every area, right and left, the creative one and the thinking one was activated all the time. Okay, so at that particular period, we have full platter in front of us, so we can choose what is best for us, right? It is not about survival. It is not about future. It is not about past. So when we have all, sort of balance in front of us, so we can choose what is best for us. And meditation exactly does this with us. So that is meditation. And again, second one is mindfulness. Nowadays, everyone is talking about mindfulness. Mindfulness is actually living in present. So when we are not occupied our past and not very much clouded about our future, so we live in present. Everyone says, "No, live in moment." But how? When you're so much occupied with your past and so much anxious about your future, it is next to impossible focus on your present. So when you practice mindfulness, so you're actually into your present, and when you are in your present, you can have most of your present. So if you are making most of your present, you're actually making your future. So in that way, this one. And another one is manifestation. Third M is manifestation. So manifestation is actually for future, and it actually comes from Gita. And how from Gita? Bhagavan Krishna was telling Arjuna that you just sit and meditate, live in present, and meditate about future also. You just see that how you are, overcoming them, those Duryodhana and other Kauravas. So that was the whole thing. Gita is giving us all three M, look after our past, to make best of our present, and vision for our future. It is a saying that you can't be what you can't see. You need to see that. So how to see that? So manifestation and guided meditation, imagery techniques, and there are n number of things we are listening nowadays. Vision our future. So that is manifestation. This is three M, I guess.
Taking all the three M's from and in keeping inspired from Bhagavad Gita. My next question is from you. People at least suggest, once in a lifetime you should at least read the entire Bhagavad Gita. Just go through it and you'll realize all the nicks and knacks of the real life. So, have you read the Bhagavad Gita?
Of course, that is why I'm speaking so confidently.
What's in it for the people? Why should one read Bhagavad Gita apart from this 3M? What are your key takeaways from Bhagavad Gita? Can you list any 3 takeaways that you really have from Bhagavad Gita?
Bhagavad Gita's 3 takeaway. The most inspiring one, the shloka from second chapter, is the most important actually. So it says that whatever you're doing, do it, do it in a way that failure and success should not affect, and this will bring yoga in yourself. The saying is like that: Yogastha sthiti kurmani sanga tyakta dhananjaya siddh siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam योग उच्यते. तो धनंजय अर्जुन को ही वहां पे एड्रेस किया गया है कि अर्जुन, यू जस्ट make yourself established in yoga. And what is yoga? Yoga is union basically with the cosmos, with the society, with the universe, harmony with each and everyone, the ecosystem. And while establishing yourself in union, in yoga, in harmony with the society, you do your karma. And what is your karma? Which is advisable for you. Advisable as in what is your temperament, what is your nature. For me, it is serving the society like I'm doing. I think I have found it. Maybe I'm overclaiming it, but I guess so. Maybe for you, it can be spreading more knowledge about technology or other thing. Whatever you have with you as a purpose or like karma, passion, whatever it is, तो वो काम करते हुए you just think that failure और success पे affect नहीं होते हुए, तो this will bring you to, this is first and I think the most powerful, because we are so much overwhelmed with the success and so disappointed with the failure. So they taught us that you should not feel that way. And even in stress management, we say that emotionally you should not feel very angry and very happy. You should be in between. And when we are talking about anything, I am taking everything in a very philosophical way nowadays. It is always about equilibrium, right? It is always about the harmony. And in mental health also, this is the fine line of emotion, you can say. And if you are going beyond, you get mania. And if you are getting down, so you can get depression. And when you are waving in between, up, down, medium, so you can have bipolar disorder. It is not only in mental health, even in our life. So that is one thing. Second thing, I should say, know your dharma. There is another saying, like I mentioned up, you just need to explore ki what is actually your dharma. And dharma is not related to ethnicity or sort of, add some life to the universe, or some for the humanity, for the entire universe. So that thing, in a way, so you should actually invest time for that. That is the thing. And efficiency in a work. Third one is whatever yoga, dharma, karma you have, add some pro efficiency.
Few days back, I was just going through the Instagram. There was a gentleman who recently popped out in my feed. His name is Mr. Gaur Gopal Das. He's a very known spiritual leader. And where he said the lack of facility shouldn't depress us, and the abundance of facility shouldn't distract us.
It is actually the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, now moving further towards your working side, since you are mental health expert, especially for women and children, जब भी mental health expert की बात आती है या फिर mental health की बात आती है, the recent case that strikes our mind is the case of Sushant Singh Rajput, the actor. I thought of discovering it even after that. A lot of people are opening up about their mental health issues, even on social media. Still, a bigger chunk of society feel, this is still a taboo to discuss openly about your mental health. Okay, if you are having a mental health issue, just go and seek a doctor. Do not expose it or do not express it socially in front of people. So do you really feel that this kind of thing, it's, people are gelling up well with this thing and people are overcoming with this taboo sort of thing when it's about mental health?
Yeah, actually, nowadays people are much open about their, yeah, taboo is there. We call it stigma, actually. Main objective of mental health program is, removing stigma about mental health in society. It is one of the access of mental health care to the community. First one, and second one is removing stigma in society. Is the second one. So yes, of course, stigma is there. We still live in an era where people are okay to suffer, okay to survive, okay to commit suicide, but not okay to speak out. We still live in that area. But when we compare with a decade before now, or even 5 years back, if we see, so there is much difference. And people are now coming up with their complaint that we need some treatment for this. And people are by themselves are seeking help. They're coming to us like, I have these kind of symptoms, so can you help with this? So yeah, things are changed, and but miles to go. And thing is, when we will not openly, even I should say that the taboo or the stigma you're talking about, it is mainly in middle and upper middle portion of the society. What I can see, people who are less privileged, they're still okay with it. They are coming to your OPD, but those doctors and highly white collar professionals and many of them are still coming, they're not very much open about, yeah, they are doing that, but not still have that. Along with when we're talking about the middle class of the society, they still have that thing. Things have been changed and are changing, but still we need to work a lot. We need to speak a lot. Even if you will ask me, even I'm not very much okay about talking about my mental illness at all. If I'm having, so I'll feel like I should not speak. I can tell that I'm having fever, but I cannot tell that I'm having depression.
So awareness is something that we need to trigger it.
Awareness and acknowledge. Awareness is there. Awareness is there. Knowledge about the thing is there, but people are not acknowledging the thing. We need to make them acknowledge and need to acknowledge, yes, this is also a thing, and we should take it as normal as a headache or sort of any other physical ailments.
When it's about acknowledging and sharing your words with people, whom should we first contact? Maybe a mental health expert or maybe the friends or the families that are really close to us?
Both, actually. With whom you are feeling comfortable with. Your closest friends. We always seek our family and friends only when we feel some discomfort, even if it is about physical thing or whatever it is. But they should also have that empathy, or they should have sort of understanding so that they can counsel you for good advice. You cannot go straight away. Yeah, people can go straight away to mental health professionals. Nowadays, we are doing a lot of work in that so that people can reach us easily to phone calls without telling their identity. Also, there are a number of helplines about suicide prevention to depression to all mental illnesses. We have that talk line, you can say. We have that. Rightly, you said that friends are the first contact you will seek for. So, friends should be trustworthy, I should say, trustworthy in a way that they should not spread that news and they should give you right advice. Because if he is not aware or she is not that much having that knowledge about that, he or she might be telling you that, "Arey, ye chalta hai, let it be, let's have a drink or something, just chill." ये भी एक तरीका है जिसकी वजह से we actually exaggerate the symptoms. And alcohol or any substance which is stimulating can cause more harm to your situation. For the time being, you can feel better, good, or some sort of thing, but afterwards you can get more complex feelings and symptoms about your problem.
Since you have mentioned alcohol, and a recent question just popped up in my mind, does that all the consumption of these tamasic things, does it really affect the mental health of a person?
Why not? Actually, everything has effect on our body, and like you're saying, tamasic things, not only alcohol, tobacco, and any stimulant, but garlic and other tamasic food, ginger and other onion and all. There are two perspectives of that. First is you mentioned in Ayurveda, it called sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic food. So when we are talking about tamasic food, so it's still heavy to digest in a very simpler way. They are causing actually very much load to your digestive system. When we are talking about tamasic things, so and we have load in our digestive system, our all blood circulation and everything, it goes towards the central area of your stomach only, just to digest that heavy food. What is happening actually? There is less oxygen for your extremities to work. You feel sluggish, and by the time, because your all blood pool is towards your digestive system, so your brain is not getting enough oxygen. Both the way, sluggish mind, sluggish body, and you're feeling lethargic. I mean, I have recently experienced, now I can tell you the difference, that after having a heavy meal, including those desserts and everything, I feel so sluggish and feeling like sleeping only because of overloading of our digestive system. So our brain doesn't work in that period. So for mental health also and for physical health also, you need to make your food little lighter. Like you said, not tamasic or sattvic food is preferred food, but I'm not saying to, be monk and eat boiled vegetables and all. But once in a while, you have actually pointed out a very good question. So weekly detox is very good idea, and I'm practicing it for almost, you can say, from the pandemic only. From March, April itself, I have started. Monday is the day where I'm eating only boiled vegetables and vegetable stalks or fruits or whatever live food, not animal products like food, dairy products. I'm not having that day. It is also helping. It actually makes your body weak, though, but mentally you feel so strong. And the next day you feel so energetic because you have actually overcome those things. You are not craving for chocolates and other sort of, you have controlled your mind.
My God, beautifully explained. I mean, this was one of the most scientific and technical questions that popped up in my mind, and you explained it beautifully. I'm really glad this question popped up and you explained it in a so much of graceful manner. Okay, my next question, I really feel that when it's about women, when it's about females are way more stronger and way more endurance stricken when it's about their mind as compared to men in general. So why did you take up something especially related to women and childcare? Why not men?
Okay. Yeah, they are also. But It will be little partial if I say, but majority of women, like back then over a century, we are actually celebrating Women's Day. We are living in a patriarchal society. It is not about men actually, but it is not that I am not giving a focus for men's health. Women need to, like you said, keep they have endurance and other thing, but if it is not channelized, if it is not in a right way, so it is a threat to a society. And first thing. Second thing, physical health of a woman is important. Child is because it is the future of our nation. And when it comes to women, I am a woman. I feel some point in my life that there should be some help for me, some sort of fighting thing in that particular area, what we are talking about, mental health. Being in a medical field, being a woman, there was a time when I wanted to speak out in front of doctors only, but they were not able to recognize that I am talking about something beyond the medical practices. You will surprise that even medicos don't recognize mental health as their expertise. When any women are complaining about anything, they cannot elicit that it could be because of somatization. I should say somatization is one of the terminology you must have heard that. There frequent complaining about pain, vague pain all over the body, and there is a history of doctors shopping. We went for a lot of doctors, and investigations are all negative. Investigations are absolutely fine. Your paper is saying that you have nothing in your body which is causing pain, but pain is there. So no doctor, no obs gynae, no specialist will say that yeah you can have. Maybe I'm over saying that, but this is the practice what I have seen. People don't feel. Medical practitioners don't feel can be stomatization also. And that is a starting point for me. I feel that I should take up that as my purpose. So I'm just seeking my purpose, man.
My God, I'm glad that I've heard this word from you that you're actually seeking your purpose towards attaining a better fulfillment for women and children in general. So, congratulations on
Thank
that
you so
part.
much.
Okay, when it's about mental health again, I feel, and because this is something that I've tried and really worked for myself, when you're really inclined towards learning something new, and in my case, I've been inclined towards learning and reading books from, I would say, somewhere around from the year 2012 or 2013. I've been very much inclined towards learning book, and every day I do not even hesitate in posting, even on social media, that I'm learning this book. And a lot of people come to me and they ask me, okay, why are you reading this book and what's in it for you and all this kind of thing. So, from your point of view, I really wanted to have an idea when you read something, when you go through a lot of good books. Like we just mentioned a few minutes back, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma and The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. So, what sort of experience does it actually have in our mind when it's about reading a book and actually gaining all those things and then spreading out the word to the world?
Books are, you are also a book bee. But books are actually best friends like you say, and even better than that, Jagrat Devta hote hain. If you are implementing whatever they're saying, you just mentioned about Robin Sharma, the 5 a.m. Club, and the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Step by step guide about everything. You've gone through that book, so there is practice of still late to inquire and
Hmm.
everything.
Right.
So if you are practicing it, only one book transform you, and the whole purpose of humanity is only expansion and sort of knowing and seeking your purpose only. Again, it is actually very much even I'll answer that book wala question later, but this famous saying of Rumi, and it is one of my favorite quote, what you seek is seeking you. Actually, when you're reading book, I'm sure you can also correlate with this. In every page there is something which you can correlate कि अच्छा ये वाला तो कभी मैंने ऐसा सोचा भी था और maybe इस book में ऐसा था. So every book is now I can say कि there is some common points in every book, whether it is, and ultimately when we talk about it is Bhagavad Gita, I should say again. And I regret that I started it very late, though I have started it in back in 2002 or 3 when I was in school. as I have started that, but I was not able to understand because of the language and the understanding. And you need to have that वो vessel चाहिए हमको जब हमारा brain उतना developed हो जाएगा. But it is not like that. But yeah. So books are best friends, but until you're not implementing it, there is no utilization. You cannot gain a lot of things out of that. Also, it's not about gaining, but at least understanding and expanding your vision.
When it's about the Bhagavad Gita, I still remember, there's something called a constant urge. I don't know what's being called in your practitioner's language, but for me, it's some urge in me that, that's saying me again and again. That inner voice is actually saying, just go and read this book. You will find the true potential. I would say you'll find all your answers. Just go and read it. Just go and go through it. Don't just go through it, just imbibe it, actually. And you'll find everything that you are seeking out there in the world.
I can completely correlate that. Like you said, inner voice it is. Inner voice. Antardhvani. Antardhvani is the word. And we all have that antardhvani in us. There are two or more antardhvani. Again, I will say that एक आपका ऑटो पायलट वाला अंतर्ध्वनि जो हमने सीखा है, हम सोचेंगे okay, you will have that antardhvani that go and read Bhagavad Gita. Your autopilot one will say, just go to office, just scroll through social media, just binge watch some Netflix or other thing, whatever it is for you. We actually trapped with that autopilot thing and we forget that antardhvani. Antardhvani is actually polluted with a lot of dhvani of autopilot. So yeah, ye antardhvani, if you are just, it is also in the monk who sold his Ferrari only. In 30 seconds or 1 minute, you should implement the idea or in antardhvani what you're saying in inner voice of urge, like you mentioned. If you're urging something, just start immediately within no time. It made a lot of difference in my life.
If it is definitely coming, I'll really make sure I just go and hop onto this book. As soon as I complete my recent read, as I've shared with you, I'm currently reading the book on habits and the much recommended by a lot of people, the autobiography of a yogi. I mean, I've been through the first 5 chapters. I'm still finding the link to connect with this book. But kahin na kahin, it's again the feeling that, just pushing me, just go and read one more chapter, you'll find it. Just go and read one more chapter, you'll find it.
I have actually heard so much about it. Like I said, after reading straight 16 book on a lot of things, I landed in Bhagavad Gita. Side by side, I was reading Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. So I'm about to finish that book. But again, I should say that I should go for Bhagavad Gita again. So maybe I can listen the summary from you about autobiography for you.
Sure. Anytime. My last 2 questions for you. The first one will be, what are the top 3 books that you really wanted to suggest to people, especially the young generation who are in their 25, 26 or mid-30s or something like that?
You need to name it, those books. I mean, it is Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Gita.
So it's Bhagavad Gita from Sujata. And one last question. Let's suppose you're in your late 70s and 80s and you've probably seen the best and the worst of the world, right? You're being surrounded by kids out there, or you might be giving some sort of session on that. So what will be your top 3 life advices, or I would say the better word is to life takeaways from your own life that you really wanted to put out there in front of people and tell them, this is what life taught me. Number 1, number 2, and number 3.
First thing, it should be that inner voice. You just follow your gut, what we say, right? Seek your purpose, actually. But it is the thing that first instinct or gut feeling or whatever it is, you should follow that. Though it is wild, it is not others calling, people are laughing at you, it doesn't matter at all. We all are conditioned to make other feel comfortable so that other cannot make fun of us. But that is the thing I should say. That thing. Second one, just remove your mask. Just show what you are. You need not to pretend. It is okay to be crazy. It is okay to be insane.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sujata. Thank you so much for being a part on this show. I'm highly honored and thankful to everyone for investing their time and listening to this episode till the end. If you found this conversation impactful and full of insights, then please share it with your loved ones. If you want to access the show notes from this episode, check out the show notes space. Do subscribe to this podcast to hear more of such purpose seekers that we have in our society. Now step out, follow your instinct and seek the purpose you are destined to. See you in the next episode. Cheers.